In today's video, I'm going to be talking to you about a number of skincare items from Simple, and I'm going to explain about my experience of using these items on my perimenopausal skin. So if that's something that interests you, then please keep watching. Welcome back to Selfcare Karen. It is lovely to have you here. Thank you so much for joining me today. As I mentioned in the intro, I'm going to be talking to you about some simple skincare, and it really has been a hot minute since I have used anything from Simple. I think the last time was many moons ago, where I was doing a video on CBD sort of hemp products. And I remember that I used a moisturiser. I think it was called like a calming lotion or something like that from Simple, which I really liked. I really enjoyed using. But it's really been all that time since I've sort of gone back to the Simple brand. So I'm really excited to share this review with you. Just to let you know, this video is not sponsored. None of my videos are sponsored. I'm going to be sharing my real honest opinion of the products that I'm going to be talking about with you today. I am, though, an Amazon affiliate, which means, or an Amazon associate, which means that where the products that I mention are available on Amazon, you'll see in the video description that I put a link with there's like an asterisk against the product name, and then there'll be a link. That's an affiliate link. That means that I may earn from qualifying purchases. It's really not very much commission, but anything is very welcome. And I use the money that I make from being an Amazon associate in being able to continue to provide this content to you here on YouTube. So it's kind of funding in some small part this channel. So thank you if you do follow any of the links. It really is greatly appreciated. You can find out more about what I do off YouTube, also in the video description. I do have a mailing list, again, details in the video description. And also just here on YouTube, I've got lots and lots of different beauty product reviews. I do skincare a lot, but I also have a lot of hair care reviews. And then also to let you know that I do guided meditations, and I do a practice called EFT. You might know it as tapping. This is all part of my kind of holistic view on empowering you with your self-care. Okay, so let's talk about the Simple products that I decided to try out for this video. Okay, so I've tried to build a routine, as I usually do, that includes kind of the staples for me. So cleansing for me is like the baseline. It is table stakes. It is critical always in my skincare routine. So I've got actually 3 different cleansers that I'm trying out. Then kind of additional attention. So I've got a serum in there, and I've got a moisturiser as well as an eye cream. So when it came to the cleansers, I had received this moisturising facial wash in a goodie bag from a Superdrug event that I went to last year. And actually, I've really enjoyed using this facial wash. It's very non-stripping. So sometimes I find that when I use a facial wash, it strips the skin, it makes the skin feel tight and taut. This doesn't do any of that. I use this normally on a morning in my morning shower, and it is just really nice. It gets the skin clean, and it doesn't feel like you've kind of taken a layer off or anything. I really have enjoyed using this. Another product that I tried, which I also use in the shower, but this one I only use every 2 to 3 days, is I think this is a fairly new product for Simple. This is their Active Skin Barrier Care. It's from the Active Skin Barrier Care range. This is a smoothing gel cleanser, and this has got 5% lactic acid, and also it's got hyaluronic acid in it. Now, lactic acid is an AHA. It's an alpha hydroxy acid, which gently exfoliates the skin. It's actually one of my preferred AHAs because it is so gentle. And if you found, for example, that glycolic acid has just been a bit too much for your skin, or salicylic acid, maybe try this product or a lactic acid product, because it is way more gentle, but you still get kind of like the removal of the dead skin cells and gentle exfoliation. It does say on this, I find it's quite interesting that it says, the face wash has a strong smell due to its high level of active ingredients, which we don't cover up with perfume. It remains safe and effective to use even on sensitive skin. Yeah, it does smell quite strong, but it's, you know, you wash it off. So it's kind of bordering on vinegar, but not quite on vinegar. I don't know, it's not as sharp as vinegar. That's the kind of smell. I love the fact that it's in a pump action bottle. That just makes it really, really handy. And I normally put like a couple of pumps on to my skin while I'm in the shower, just massage it in and then rinse it off. And this just works a treat. It really leaves the skin feeling really lovely and smooth and not at all irritated, which is obviously important. And yeah, I really enjoy this. It's kind of helped me keep on top of keeping my skin exfoliated. So I've really enjoyed using this cleanser. I'm really lucky with the cleansers I have to say. The third one is like, I mean, I will be surprised if this doesn't fall into Holy Grail category for me. I've only used a little bit of the bottle because a little goes a long way, but I love, love, love this. This is the Simple Hydrating Cleansing Oil, and this is what I use in the evening when I've got makeup on, or just to cleanse like the day, even if I haven't worn makeup. I just apply it using my hands to my face, and then I wash it off using a flannel that I've made wet with warm water, or a muslin cloth, or even just pads, reusable pads that I make wet, and then I just rub it off. It doesn't irritate the eyes, it gets eye makeup off, and it just gets all makeup off. It leaves the skin feeling so soft and smooth and clean. I absolutely love this. It actually reminds me of a cleansing oil that I used years ago, unfortunately discontinued, from Boots No. 7. And that was wonderful. And I was so upset when it was before I even started this channel that they discontinued it. So gosh, you know, I mean, it's probably about 10 years ago that it was discontinued. Loved it. This is very reminiscent of that. It doesn't have a strong smell. It's grapeseed oil with vitamin E and A. It just has kind of like a faint oily smell, but nothing overpowering, and it is so gentle but so effective. This, I mean, yes, I'm going to say I think it's Holy Grail. I know I haven't even gone through a whole bottle, but I will definitely repurchase this in the future. I just love it. I love having some form of cleanser that's like a balm or an oil, because when you're using sunscreen, when you're using makeup, you need something that is going to take that off. And for example, this facial wash, I haven't even used it on made up a face. I've only ever used it on already cleaned the night before skin, because I don't think this is going to get the makeup off like the cleansing oil does. But I love this. I love this. I mean, if there's anything that you're going to try from the range I'm talking about, from the products I'm talking about, this is the one. Really, really love it. Okay, so I also got an eye cream. This is the Soothing Eye Balm, and let me just show you. This is really nice actually as well, because this sinks in really easily. It doesn't interfere with any kind of makeup. Sorry, I've got a bite on my hand. I've got red patches and stuff. I'm suffering from really, on my body, a lot of problems with my skin. But anyway, sorry, apologies for the bite on my hand there and all the injuries from scratching on my arm. But basically, what I'm trying to tell you is this eye cream sinks in really lovely. It doesn't interfere with any makeup that you put on top of it, and it really is quite soothing. So if, like me, you suffer from puffy eyes quite a lot of the time, where you get kind of like an accumulation of liquid around under the eyes, but also on top of the eyelids, this is your cream. It's lightweight, it's really inoffensive, it's not expensive either, and it's just lovely hydration for that eye area, that delicate eye area. So I really like this too. In fact, you know what, I try out a lot of skincare. This has probably been the most surprising try out that I've had in a long time, because every product that I have got in the repertoire I have enjoyed using, which is just fantastic. Okay, so following the cleanse in the evening, I have been using this serum, which is the 10% Ceramide Boosters and Omega Complex Booster Serum. This one is of all of them, it's probably taken me a bit longer to figure out if I liked it or not. Basically, you're supposed to shake the bottle, and then you are using the pipette in the bottle. Let me see if I can get it out without spilling it. And it doesn't come out very well, I have to say. These pipettes never do, so I end up tipping the bottle onto my hand. But basically, you get this serum, which is kind of a milky serum. It's a bit strange compared to most serums that I use. And when it initially goes on, it doesn't actually feel that moisturising. It just, feels like you're applying a kind of milk to your skin. But after a little while, I really feel the effects of the kind of nourishment and the moisturising impact on my skin. So I've really been enjoying using this serum too. They've got a lot of different serums. They've definitely got a vitamin C one, and I think they've got another one. But this one I chose because I felt it was kind of like the most kind of hydrating, moisturising, and that's definitely what my skin needs. And then finally, I've been using the Soothing Water Cream, and this has got 15% skin conditioners and aloe. And this comes in I love stuff that comes like this in a tub, because it means that you'll get all the product out. This cream, this cream is really, let me put it on my arm. It's really lightweight. It's very, well, not very, but it's fairly cooling. So if you're finding that your skin is kind of maybe a bit sensitive or red or irritated, this kind of feels like it really calms it down. It's very lightweight, sinks in really easily. Again, you can put foundation on top and there's no problem. You can put sunscreen on top, which I do because I didn't get a sunscreen in this range. I didn't get a simple sunscreen. But this hydrates well for the day. For me, this is not quite enough for the night. And if you've been watching any of my recent skincare videos, you'll know that I've been raving about this Neutrogena Deep Moisture Multi-Purpose Comfort Balm, which I actually originally bought as a body lotion, but then I realised that you could use it on your face, and I've got barely any left, and I have been using it on my face. And this is just, for me, the perfect night cream. And it's also so inexpensive. This is just such an inexpensive way. It's packed full of glycerin, which my skin adores. And this is very nourishing. It's very rich, but it doesn't kind of leave a horrid residue. So I've been using that as the night cream rather than the Soothing Water Cream, which is fine for the day, but just not enough for me on an evening. So I've been using this Neutrogena one. So let's talk about sunscreen, because I didn't get any sunscreen from Simple, but obviously for me, using sunscreen is really, really important. So I have been using up, and I feel like I've said this in quite a few videos, but I've been using up the Garnier, actually the one I've been using up is the Niacinamide SPF 50, the Daily UV with niacinamide in it, which is not my favorite of the three that they have, because they've got an invisible one, a glow one, and then the niacinamide one. The niacinamide one is just too fluid for me. I don't like how it applies, and also I find if I use niacinamide in that concentration every day, it irritates my skin. So I've been sort of swapping between that one from Avon, which I quite like as well. I'll link that in the products listed below. And then just recently I have got, and I don't have it to hand because it's in my son's book bag at school with him, but I've been using the e.l.f. Sun Touchable Invisi Stick, which is SPF 50. And this is like it's kind of like a deodorant, if you like, that you like a bar deodorant, not a roll-on, but similar. I don't even know what they're called. But basically, you just kind of glide it onto your face and any skin that you're exposing, that you're putting the SPF on, and it leaves this kind of sheen of sunscreen, which again doesn't interfere at all with foundation and anything that you put on top of it. And it's just so handy. It's handy for me to use, but the best bit is using it on my son, because he's like any kid, he's not happy to have the sunscreen put on. This, he even puts it on himself because he loves so much this fact that it's just so easy to apply. So yeah, I'm really impressed with that sunscreen from e.l.f. So if you're looking for an SPF that's easy to use, good coverage, I would definitely recommend trying out that one. But back to Simple. So I guess one of the reasons that I haven't used Simple as much all this time since the video that I mentioned before, where I was doing the CBD products, is because for some reason I thought that they were testing on animals. But I did do a bit of research before I just bought all of these products, and I do realise actually that they've all got on them, or not all of them, but some of them have got on them this PETA approved vegan global animal test policy. Simple does not test on animals. So I don't know where this confusion came from, if it was me reading something that wasn't correct, or maybe Unilever has changed their stance. But basically all of their marketing now says that they are, against animal testing, and they're not using, well, although they're not explicitly saying that, but I imagine that PETA doesn't approve anything that has got stuff that's been tested on animals. I do know that it's sometimes quite complicated because products that are sold in China's got some really strict rules around animal testing, as in you need to test on animals. So I think that complicates things, but I'm feeling more comfortable using Simple this time around because I did a bit more research, and I think that their credentials are up to my standard, if you like. But correct me if I'm wrong. Please mention in the comments if I've got the wrong end of the stick here. I would also love to hear from you if you've recently tried any of the new Simple ranges that have come out, any of their products, or if any of these are your favourites, or negative opinion, whatever. I just love hearing from you in the comments. And also, I definitely work off recommendations for future videos. So if there's anything particular that you would like me to review, then please do mention it in the comments. To let you know, in the video description, as well as sort of information about the products listed, I do put information about my Amazon storefronts. I've got storefronts on amazon.co.uk, amazon.com, and also amazon.au.com, I think, the Australian site, and there I put loads and loads of video reviews up, so much more than I feature on this channel. In case there's anything that you want to take a look at, you can see that I've got video reviews up on there as well. All right, so thank you so much for joining me today. Apologies, my voice seems to be going. I do apologise. Remember, you are in perfect time. See you soon.